Is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire really as divisive as the reviews suggest? Let's find out right now.
Can I tell you something else?
What?
Buster makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'll be reviewing Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, the newest entry and the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, so don't worry about any spoilers. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, also follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Letterboxd. All the links are in the description. I'm very active on all those. I'm going to read you guys a quick plot synopsis of the movie, just so you know what it is about. The Spangler family return to the iconic New York City firehouse where the original Ghostbusters have taken ghostbusting to the next level. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters new and old must unite to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. Before we talk about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I do want to give you my thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife, because that was kind of a major movie for this franchise. Getting back into it after Ghostbusters 2016 was just a major fail, financially and critically. That one just didn't do it for anyone. And so Afterlife, when I went into that one a couple years ago, I think it came out in 2021, and I actually thought that one was great. I had a lot of fun with that one. It, restored a lot of the original Ghostbusters magic into it. And, Jason Reitman did a great job taking over for his father. And I don't know, I think that one just has a lot of, it doesn't have a lot of nostalgia, some nostalgia and a little bit of the moment, especially at the end. But it's cool how it works as its own film. I could see that one just working as its own standalone Ghostbusters film. You don't even need to see the original. This one, you do need to see the original. But yeah, Afterlife was great. So now let's talk about Frozen Empire. I will say off the bat, I think this is worse than Afterlife, but it's fine and enjoyable at times. I don't think it's as terrible as some critics think. Some critics are giving it like 2 or 3 out of 10, and I'm like, it's not that bad. I had a fun time watching it. I could go watch it again if I wanted to, but probably not with my schedule. I'm not going to go watch it again. Probably watch it on digital when it does come out on digital, probably, in a month or two. Yeah, I enjoyed some of the moments here. I think the biggest loss for this film, though, was that Jason Reitman didn't return to direct this. I'm not sure why he didn't return. I'm not sure if he's working on a different project, but yeah, it made it lose some of that magic that Afterlife had so well in that one. So it kind of sucked that he didn't return, because it could have been so much better, I think, if he did return to direct this one. I'm gonna have to check if he's directing another project right now or he's just taking a break. But that probably is the major loss of this film. And I will say, the mini Stay Puft Marshmallows are back. I love them. They're so funny, so cute. They just are kind of menaces to society. I'll say that. I loved them in Ghostbusters Afterlife and that Walmart scene. That's a weird scene, but they were easily the standouts of that film, and I love their little scenes here. And there is a mid-credit scene here, a little fun mid-credit scene with them in it, which I did enjoy. They always make me laugh a lot, and I think that's one of the best. I think those characters are easily one of the best parts of these movies, is the Stay Puft Marshmallow guys. I think they're weird, they're funny, they try to kill themselves. It's just ridiculous what they're trying to do here. And I will say, even though this movie isn't great, there still are some fun character moments to be had here, and charm with the original cast coming back, along with some newcomers we do have, which we'll get to in a few minutes. One thing that bothered me in here was that Lucky and Trevor's romantic subplot that kind of was hinted at in the first one with Afterlife. In Afterlife, he's kind of has a crush on her, and you think they're going to actually have a little, there is kind of a romantic subplot there. It doesn't really go anywhere by the end of it, which was weird. And now it's completely gone in this one. I didn't really understand it. I guess we're just friends now. But it seemed like they were building to something in Afterlife, but then here it's just completely gone. It's weird. I think they should have kept a romantic subplot in. Maybe it could have, maybe you could have had some charm there with those two characters, but it just felt like they weren't connected anymore, like they were connected in the first one so much more. I don't know what was going on there. Some of the characters in here weren't acting like they did in Afterlife. It kind of bothered me a little bit, because I felt like Lucky and Trevor should have been together throughout the whole movie and hanging out, because that's what they did in the first one. But Lucky's just hanging out with someone else doing her little science projects. I thought that was weird to split some of the characters up. It reminded me of something like Stranger Things. The last season of Stranger Things split everyone up. I don't know why we're splitting people up. We should have the same, people as the first one, being with each other. And I think that romantic subplot should have stayed in this movie. And I think another big problem was that the pacing was really off, along with the script. I'm not even going to get into it. I thought the script was really weak here, because it took a while for me to really start enjoying myself here and start having a fun time. And the mystery didn't even really begin until about 30 to 45 minutes into the movie. And it's not a really long movie. I think it's only about 2 hours long. And it's kind of sucks how poor the pace this one is, because I wanted to really love it like Afterlife. And Afterlife is really well paced. Like, compared to this one, I would rather watch Afterlife like 5 more times. But yeah, if this one was better paced, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But it's just, I think the pacing is just a big mistake here. But let's talk about the cast. Of course, we have the old cast coming back with Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, and Bill Murray, and I think they all did great. You know, some of them don't have as much time to shine, like Bill Murray. He's not really in it for that much. Dan Aykroyd is easily the biggest, biggest person in this movie. He has the most to do in this movie from the original cast. Ernie Hudson has a decent amount to do in here. And I think they all did great. You know, it sucks that they only got them to, come back for just a little bit of the movie. They didn't have really a major part to do except for Dan Aykroyd, so that kind of sucks. But we also had McKenna Grace come back. I liked what her character had to do here. She had to kind of deal with, she's still a child, so she can't be a Ghostbuster yet. She had to deal with her mom and her new kind of dad. Let's say that, with Paul Rudd. And Paul Rudd, I love him in these movies. He was great in Afterlife. He's great here. He brings a lot of charm into this movie that's much needed, and his comedic timing is great. And Logan Kim returns his podcast, and man, he really grew up. Like, I didn't even recognize him in this movie. He looks so different compared to Afterlife. I was shocked. Celeste O'Connor returns as Lucky. I thought she was great here. And then Finn Wolfhard returns as Trevor. Finn Wolfhard's great in anything. He has great comedic timing. But yeah, I do wish that Lucky and Trevor actually had that romantic subplot carry over from the first film. It was weird, but Celeste O'Connor, I think that she's better in this than Madam Web. Let's just say that. I love roasting Madam Web in every single review that I do. I like fitting it in there just a little bit. So I think the cast did pretty good. I think it's just, the movie didn't have a lot of charm like the first one. The script wasn't great and the pacing was off, but I still like some of the character moments that you had here. And I think the general audience will like this more than the critics, just like with Afterlife. I think Afterlife had like a 65% critic rating and like a 95% audience rating. This one, I think, is sitting at like a 40-some critic rating, and I bet the audience rating is going to be like 80 something, probably like 86, 84, somewhere in that range. So I think the general audience will easily like this more than the critics, and I did like this more than the critics. I think Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was an enjoyable time, but it took its time to really get there, get to those levels. And it's not as good as Afterlife, but I still think it's fine. I'll probably put it on just, in the background to do notes when it does come out in physical media. I wouldn't mind adding this to my collection because I did love some of the character moments, but some of the choices in the script and direction weren't my favorite, especially getting rid of that romantic subplot. And, the pacing was a little bit off. As I said, took a while to get into that mystery, so I thought those were my biggest gripes with the movie, and it lost a little bit of that magic that Afterlife had so well done in that movie. So Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'll probably go watch it again in theaters, maybe in a couple weeks when we're in a dry spell again. But yeah, I didn't hate it like a lot of other people. Just go in with some open expectations. Maybe you'll like it less than me. Maybe you'll like it more than me. Who knows? But if you did see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, make sure to leave your thoughts down below in the comments. If you did enjoy my review, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.